caminando con su tumbao. Qué linda. Oye, mami.
Hello, so here we are at the second International Bachata Festival in Lithuania with our good friend Lee and Gringuito. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing well. A little tired, but I'm ready and happy to be doing this interview. And it was a great second annual Lithuania Bachata Festival.
How many hours of sleep did you get?
You know, cumulatively, probably about 9 or 10 hours over the last 2 or 3 days, not counting the 30 hours it took me to get here thanks to LOT Airlines. But yeah, so we're here and happy though, so that's good.
That's good. So you are one of the masters of the bachata, and we want to know a little bit how you got started in the Latino music. You know, where did you hear your first song? How did you get started? How did you fall in love with Latino music?
Well, you know, I started dancing salsa probably back in 2001. I guess it's making me slightly old now, but I took a salsa class my sophomore year at George Mason, and it was a casino de Rueda class, and that was really my first experience with Latin dancing. And I had a friend who was Colombian. We called each other primo, which, as you know, means cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He was this tall, kind of dark-skinned guy, and he, you know, we were going to the clubs, and I used to do magic before I was a dancer, so. You know, we're going to the clubs, and the magic worked well, but the dancing seemed like it worked much better in meeting the lovely Latin women of the Washington, D.C. metro area. So at that point he said, well, you know, Primo, you should learn how to dance. And I took that kind of seriously. And, you know, I took that 3-credit class. And from there, you know, we just would go out and practice in the Rueda group, but then, you know, after a year, people start to fall off the map. So, you know, before long, there's only a couple of us, and we said, well, we can't do a Rueda anymore. What's next? And then I started teaching slowly. I mean, I was maybe dancing for about a year, and I was doing magic at Fuddruckers, which is a chain of burger restaurants, and the manager was Spanish, and he said, well, we should do a Latin night. And I said, I mean, who's going to come to a burger place to learn how to Latin dance? So this would be a good practice platform.
Yeah.
So that was my first, you know, I guess, gig teaching. And, you know, I had taught students how to do magic in high school, so I felt maybe I wasn't as good as other people, but I could explain things and make it fun. And then from there, you know, I did a club in Washington for a couple years, and really just try to do small venues so I can kind of hone my craft. And I took a trip to the DR in 2007, maybe 2006, and that's the first time I saw bachata. I was in Punta Cana, so I didn't really have a chance to go into the city, but you know, I saw bachata and had a chance to dance with one of the dancers after the show. Came back to the U.S. and said, well, this bachata is closer, sexier, this is my kind of dance. So I Googled bachata and didn't really find much, went to YouTube. So wow. So I said, I wonder if someone owns bachatadvd.com, just for the hell of it. And no one owns bachatadvd.com. Well, so, you know, it was a part, I said, wow, this might be a good, you know, marketing idea, but also I really fell in love with the dance. So yeah, that's my story with bachata.
And now you're holding congresses, right? In D.C., right in D.C.? You have
Yes.
a festival this year?
The second annual Bachata Congress, August 19th to the 22nd. And, you know, last year was a great success. We had, over the weekend, over 500 people. So, you know, for the first Bachata Festival on the East Coast, I think only the third ever in North America, we were very happy with things. And this year, you know, we really tried to step the game up, and we're bringing Toby Love, Latin Billboard winner and former member of Aventura, to perform Saturday night. And we're doing it at the biggest hotel on the East Coast, which is the Gaylord National. So I figured if you're going to do it, you might as well just, you know, this is the all-in you know, call. But we're gonna, you know, we're expecting throughout the weekend over 1,000 people, and you know, this year what we've tried to do is focus. We have a Bachata Ballroom. We're gonna have a Salsa Ballroom sponsored by Stuck on Salsa, and then we're doing a Zouk Ballroom, that will have kazomba and zouk because that's another fresh new dance. And the Gaylord has a multi-million-dollar club on the 18th floor. So it's going to be a very fun and exciting weekend.
And where can they find information about that festival if they want to know more? Do you have a website where they can go to?
Yeah, the website for the Bachata Congress is dcbachata.com, and that has all the information for the festival. The hotel is a 4-star hotel. It usually goes for over $275 a night, and they gave us the rate we have is $104, which is an amazing
nice
deal for a 4-star hotel. The hotel has 20 restaurants. It's over 200,000 square feet.
Wow.
So it's amazing. So it's really, we're really trying to make it more of a summer vacation. So we're going to do, instead of doing lunch breaks, we're going to have pool party breaks. There'll be food out by the pool from 3 to 5. So it's going to be unique.
Yeah.
And we're theming the shows again and the parties this year. So it's going to be a great time.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were before a magician and now you're mixing your magic with the dancing, or no, or you keep it separate?
It's funny. I started doing magic, and then I did my first show when I was 9 at a local library, and then when I first had started, I found this little party company. I'm originally from Brooklyn, but then I moved to the Poconos in Pennsylvania, and mountains, kind of boring. So I had to find something to do with my time, and magic seemed like a good option. But I had the opportunity to do magic shows. Actually, first they started me out as a costume character, so like Big Bird and Barney. I hate to admit that. And then I was a clown for a while. Actually, my first car accident, I was going to a clown gig, and I hit a car dressed as a clown.
As a clown.
It's terrible.
You have a lot of stories.
Yeah. So back to the question. The original reason. So once I got to college and I got interested into the Latin dancing, I kind of stopped doing magic, and now I kind of feel this. I feel like it's a talent and it's unique. And so I've done routines in the past with some past partners that had more of, there was magic, then some dance, then some magic. What I'm really trying to do now is intertwine it, so that way dance, magic, kind of to give it a little bit more of a storyline. So we're working on some different things. We have a new show. It's going to be called The World's Most Dangerous Dance Show, and it's going to be a combination of dance routines with very dangerous magic tricks. So just to kind of add a little flair.
That's really unique because nobody else does that I know of.
So it's but yeah, I guess now I'm trying to bridge the gap a little bit and utilize all of
talents that you have.
Talents, whatever. But just things that I've learned, and I think it incorporates, and I think with teaching and bachata in general is obviously bachata as a performance dance, it's a slow dance, so you have to spice it up with a theme, a storyline, or something to give it a little bit more power. So yeah.
Okay. So do you know how many styles of bachata you know? Because now there's everybody coming out with different styles.
Yeah, it runs the gamut. I found when I first started, I didn't have the opportunity to study from bachateros in the Dominican Republic, and at the time when I first started learning, there was really nothing out there. So I was forced to, I guess create my own style and find, so convert salsa moves and then, as I've traveled and I went to different bachata festivals, you kind of see different things, and I think that's the real beauty of bachata is that it's such a great fusion dance. So, one of the things I wanted to do, one of the new dances or styles, I guess, is Bacha Zouk, which is BACHA-ZOUK, so Bacha Zouk. And, I wanted to introduce Zouk into the U.S. because I think it's a sexy dance, and that's, I think people are shying away from salsa because they want a dance where they can create more of a connection. And I think bachata people leave these bachata festivals and they just say, "Wow, there's something," and you start to see the bachata groupies, and I think it's because the connection they're feeling. So, anyway, so I wanted to introduce Zouk into the U.S. and I started doing some Zouk in workshops and at our parties in D.C. People loved the classes, but then when the party would start and I'd play a couple tracks, everyone else they're confused. So then we started teaching it as a line dance in the middle of the night or an animation, and that worked well. So then I said, well, what about if we can take the principles of Zouk and incorporate it into your bachata? And so that's how the Bacha Zouk idea came about, and we shot a Bacha Zouk DVD, which that'll be one of the new releases. And that DVD, Willem Engel from Holland, who's a great, he calls himself a Zookie. We're bachateros, they're Zookies. I've seen Zoukero, but
so you're a
shirts that
Bachasuki?
says Zookies. So,
So Lee, you're a Bachasuki?
Huh?
You're a Bachasuki?
Well, I guess I could be a Bachazuki. I could be a Bachatero Zuki. Okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, so we were at a festival, a very small festival, but really nice in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I had met him. I had brought him to my festival in August last year, but obviously running a festival, the last thing I had time to do was to take workshops. And but we were at this festival and we had the opportunity to actually do his instructor's course. He had a 18-hour Zouk instructor's course. So while we were there teaching bachata, we were also taking this instructor's course. And we shot the DVD. He did an appearance on it, talking about Zouk, and then we changed the basic step a little, and working on body rolls and head motion. So yeah, and we debuted the workshop in Reno and successful. So Bacha Zouk's a lot of fun, and then I guess my other signature workshop would be Bachata Foreplay, and that's the sexy side of bachata. So foreplay and kind of an escalation. So I think it's as we mentioned in the class, this doesn't work at every situation, but it's nice to give people the opportunity to push boundaries a little bit. So Bachata Foreplay, and we have a DVD, a Bachata Foreplay DVD as well. And then we have fundamentals and combinations, dips and tricks. So I guess for me, the most important thing about bachata when you're dancing is it should be like a roller coaster. There should be downs and ups and turns. So it has to have a flair of excitement. So that way it can create some nice movement on the floor. And I think that's why bachata is going to really keep expanding, because it's such a great fusion dance. You have tango dancers adding bachatango, obviously bachata rueda. Who knows what's next? Just keeps going. Yeah.
So when a Dominican sees you like all blue eyes and white and you start shaking so well, what do they tell you?
Yeah, I mean, there's some Dominicans who really don't like my style, and there's some that really appreciate it. And it's interesting to me because they say, well, that's not bachata. But bachata, like salsa, back over time is in an evolutionary stage, and luckily we're in the time where we have the opportunity to maybe write the bachata Bible, give it a take. But I think that the important thing is the music is changing. You look at pre-1970s bachata, then the addition of the electronic guitar. Now you have artists like, Aventura and Legales, Bachata Heights, Carlos y Alejandro, the list goes on. Toby Love, who will be at the 2010 Bachata Congress. They're adding in an urban vibe. They're adding in, reggaeton elements. So obviously the way you would dance a Dominican style, Joe Veras or Kiko Rodriguez bachata is not going to be the same. And I think the biggest thing that I think people need to, students need to realize is that the dips to tricks, and I'm part of the problem because we teach that, of course, but then a Dominican style bachata comes on and they're interpreting it the same way if it would be a Toby Love or an Extreme. So I think musicality classes are going to become much more important because listen to the music, and so
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's good to
Yeah.
tell students, because a lot of the people just learn steps and steps and steps, and they just do them to any song, to any rhythm, to any feeling, and they forget to maybe listen and feel better the music.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, is there anything else you want us to know? How can we find you? I mean, I know you told us about the website in DC Bachata.
Yeah.
But you have other websites, right?
I have a couple. I'm trying to consolidate because there's just kind of keep. But yes, they can go to dcbachata.com, which has the information for the Congress, and then my main website is bachatadvd.com, or they can go to freelatindvd.com, and all those sites are interlinked, so they'll be able to connect. I also have an entertainment company in DC, which is dancelikemagic.com, and special events, parties, so yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Lee, and we hope you can get a little bit more sleep.
Lovely.
See you soon in the next Congress of Maybe